That's interesting because I didn't realize that you didn't have any game time when you came over to Victory. Like you
Yeah,
wouldn't have known, like especially Don was like hyping you up to be this really good. You were like, I'm just gonna say that you're a really good player, but he was like, no, this
appreciate it.
guy's this guy's amazing, guys. Like the first game you played with us was in San Jose. He's like, this guy's amazing. He's gonna go pro. We're like, okay, lit. And that game you ended up like winning the game
I
for
think
us
I
because
saved
you
a
blocked the
penalty that
PK.
game.
Yeah, you blocked the PK that
Yeah.
game. It was quite a debut. But that's
No, that was we were playing like at the San Jose like Police League field in
yeah.
like downtown San Jose, right underneath the highway.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
super sketch. But it was a good
Um,
game. Fun times.
no, Don's a great salesman, so I'm glad he was singing
Yeah.
my praises before I got involved. But yeah, no, I mean, like I was out of high school. I think I could sort of get into it. Like, and so in high school, like September 1st of your junior year is when coaches can start contacting you via email. At least that was the rule at the time when I was kind of going through the recruiting process. And I had been kind of like trying to send emails to coaches and like put myself out there, like playing for an okay club team out of Seattle at some tournaments. And I was like, I can't wait. I'm gonna wake up September 1st, my junior 11th grade year, and I'm gonna have all these emails. I'm gonna decide where I want to go to play college soccer and like keep it going on. And then of course, like I wake up in the morning and my inbox is empty. So I like refresh the page and like turn the modem on
Like
and
there
off
must
and
be a
still no
problem here.
emails.
Yeah, like what's going on?
Yeah, exactly. It's like something's got to be wrong.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I just was sort of under the radar, and I mean, I think like at the time I was going through the recruiting process, it was a lot like if you played an academy, like certainly to play Division 1, that was an easier path. And I don't think all college coaches operate this way, but certainly a lot like rely on the academy to get good players, which is smart, right? Like you've got a system here that's identifying the best players in an area. Let's just sort of rely on the legwork that they've done to bring those players in. But I think with that, sometimes players fall through the cracks, and I was kind of one of those guys. So yeah, the only opportunity I had to keep playing soccer was to come to Davis. So I had an opportunity to come as like a preferred walk on. So no scholarship money, but a roster spot my true freshman year.
Okay. And was that really your only option? Was Davis?
Yeah, bro, that was like literally it. I can remember so I'm sitting in my room at home right now in Seattle, and like literally the same spot I'm sitting. I remember like talking to my parents. I think it was the summer going. It was like July of my of the summer before my senior year, and I was like, like I just want you guys to know, like if this doesn't happen, it's gonna be okay. Like I'll figure something out because they knew it was something that I really wanted to do, but at the time it's just like nothing was happening. And even like some Division 3 schools that I had got in touch with that had showed some interest, they were like, yeah, we're not gonna bring you in, or like stuff happens. Like they find somebody else or somebody they had in the year before was better than they thought.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no. So like I had played at a tournament in trying to think what the name of the tournament is, but I don't know if you've ever played at those fields that are right next to Levi's Stadium where they built the 49ers Stadium. It's like Santa Clara Sporting is the club.
Like the Danville.
No, like right in Santa Clara, like next to the football stadium. The fields might be gone now, but we played in a tournament there, and that's where Davis saw me, and then we sort of stayed in touch over the next couple of years. And then I came to a camp in that summer before my senior year. They saw me play at the camp. We went back to that tournament. They saw me play then, and then they basically gave me the offer. And so that was like the week before high school started, and I had like a week in high school where I was like, everyone around me was like stressing out about where they were going to go to college and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, I have an opportunity to kind of lock it in and know what I want to do. So I'm going to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
And,
That's
and
awesome.
before you said yes, did you know going in? Obviously, Davis is a D1 school. Like, did you kind of have this feeling, man, maybe I won't get as much playing time as I'm hoping for, but you're just kind of like hoping that maybe something will come from it, or what was your mentality going into it?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think like I wanted to be a small fish in a big pond versus a big fish in a small pond. Like I wanted to play at the highest level I could. And even if that meant that I had to like ride the bench for a while and like kind of pay my dues and start at the bottom of the depth chart and kind of work my way up, like no, I mean at that point I was just like kind of happy to have an opportunity. Like I went from thinking like this might be it for soccer to like, okay, I have an opportunity to play. So I didn't really have any expectations in terms of like what I was going to do. They were like generally freshman redshirt, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to come in and start. But when it didn't happen, I wasn't like, okay, this is over. I was sort of just like, all right, time to sort of recalibrate and how can I maximize where I'm at right now as a redshirt at the time.
Were there any other
Right.
schools that you were looking at or aspiring to play at?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to play like the University of Washington was one where I was able to kind of communicate a little bit with Jamie Clark, the head coach, and Rich Reese, the goalkeeper coach, and it just they brought somebody in who was the same sort of high school graduation year as I, and he at the time was a better player. So they were like, we could maybe try to work something out, but I don't know. I think like coming in the same class as somebody else who's sort of the coach's guy, sort of the writing was on the wall, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to look elsewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I had never heard of Davis before, bro. Like, to be honest, I'd never heard of it. Like, outside of California, it's crazy. Like, people don't know about it that much, which is kind of shocking because it's such a great place. But yeah, I was like, okay, I like looked on the website and I'd been there 2 days for the camp, and I was like, all right, let's do this. Which in hindsight was like, maybe I should have done like a little bit more research. But I would say like it turned out really well because the things I didn't know about Davis when I went there turned out to be the things that I like the most about it.
What was your first
in
impression
that sense? Of Davis?
Yeah, of Davis.
Well, we went in the summertime for the camp, so it's like obviously really, really hot. But I can always remember like flying into the Sacramento airport. You come down low, and there's like all the farms. There's like the farms, and they're growing, I think, rice and stuff. And so it's beautiful. Like I think it was like an evening flight, so the sun was setting, and I was like, wow, this is such a nice place to live. And Davis in the summer is cool because the campus is like pretty empty. And we stayed at like the hotel that's on campus, and we would literally like ride bikes from the hotel to the field for the camp and then back. So I can remember like being there, and the coach was like, where did you get the bikes? And I'm like, we had them at the hotel. But so early on, I didn't know that Davis was a biking place, but I guess I got initiated into biking early.
That's awesome. And what did you major in?
So at Davis, I studied global disease biology, which is like kind of public health sort of centered, and then Chicanx studies. So those were my two fields of study.
Right on, man. Was that something that you always wanted to do, like growing up, or was it something that you went into Davis and you were undeclared and kind of found a path that way? Or how did that kind of come into fruition?
Yeah, so one of the reasons like I think I was kind of able to sort of convince my parents to like let me give it a shot at Davis was I knew that I was interested in public health, or that I had like a sort of a rudimentary interest in it. And my freshman year at Davis was the first year of this global disease biology major. So I thought, wow, like this is a cool new program. It'd be fun to be be part of the start of something. So I actually like when you filled out the UC app, you could pick a major, and that was the major. So I came in declared as that.
Okay.
And then Chicanx studies was something like I took intro to Chi studies, and I was like, wow, this is like really, really cool. Like obviously like I have a connection to Mexico because of the time that I lived there and stuff like that, and being able to speak the language, but also just sort of this like the social justice aspect of it was another thing that I'm passionate about, and you got to learn a lot about that in different ways in the courses that I took.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's interesting because a lot of people don't really realize that when you're able to speak more languages, it's like you unlock a whole new world. You're able to communicate with more people and really
100%.
understand other perspectives as well. I feel sometimes it's something that we bilingual people kind of take for granted. But I was going to ask, what was like your overall experience like there at Davis?
Really, really good. I mean, I think like what I liked about Davis was, I mean, the size of it can be kind of daunting. And when you look at it and you're like going to class, like a 400-person class, and you're seeing all these people every day. But with size comes like with a lot of opportunities. So I was able to get involved in like working at a lab at the vet school. I worked for the athletic departments, like checking tickets at the game. And just in like all the different things that you're involved in, you kind of form these small communities. So like I have my like student athlete community, my community of people who I work with doing research, my community of people who I studied Chicanx studies with, the people who were part of my major. So that kind of helped me make sort of the big school feel sort of smaller, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, it was great. And then the soccer aspect of it was obviously really, really great. I mean, it put me in a spot to keep playing, which is what I always wanted to do. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, you played college soccer for a while. I think you understand, like when you're part of a team like that, you're together all the time. Just on a personal level, the connections and bonds you make with guys are really, really great. So it's just cool to be able to like go through my phone and be able to text a bunch of guys who I played with and keep relationships going. So that's definitely like one of the best parts of it for sure.
Absolutely, yeah.